Go to Mark right now, live and direct. Mark, you ready, sir?
Yeah.
All right,
Can
I'm
you
on
hear
to
me?
hear you.
Can you hear me?
We got you, bud.
Okay. All right. Let me put this iPhone up in this little bracket here, and let me turn it around so that let's see. Okay, there we go. I'm going to slip this in this little bracket.
I just got to throw this out. Much better picture.
Okay, there we go. Okay, what Dane asked me to do was to show about box rests and a little demonstration of what I do for safety, right? Because a lot of people get in trouble when they start sticking tools down inside of, boxes and all that other stuff. Of course, the first rule, if you're going to hollow something, is never ever have the cutting surface of the tool go below center. When it goes below center, now this it's drawing in and it'll suck the tool under. Always be at center or above. Right? Number two, in my shop, I never use any type of hollowing tool that looks like this. It is extremely unsafe, especially for beginners. Reason: the cutting edge is outside of the support edge. And what it wants to do, it wants to tip down like this when you're in there. And as soon as it does that, you're out of control. Right? So I would avoid anything that looks like this. That's just me personally. Now, you can use something like this if you have some type of captive system that keeps the torque under control. But here, the leverage is way beyond the edge. So, if you're going to use a tool, number one, I don't like to use round tools unless they're in a captive system. And the way to avoid that, of course, is to use a flat tool. If you use a flat tool and you have the cutting tip inside the left edge, then you've eliminated there is no torque. It's never going to twist. So that's one little thing. Anyway, just be very careful on some of these little hollowing tools. So what I've done here is we're going to take and we're going to explore the box rest. So if I'm going to do a little box, my tool has an angled edge there and a right angle coming across this way from this side. And if you'll notice, I have a negative rake on here and then, of course, a tearaway. I've got this tool rest set up so that this cutting edge goes directly to the center. Now, if I turn this lathe on and I put the entire flat across the bottom, I get out here, that's 3/4 of an inch of grab. So what does it want to do? It wants to grab it and tip like this. So I don't have to control, this is a flat scraper, so I don't have to control whether it's going to tip this way or not. What I have to do is control that it doesn't go below center. So in my shop, I never recommend that anybody ever uses any tool off of a tool rest like this because they can get in trouble. It's a safety issue. So we replace this tool rest with a standard box rest. A box rest is simply a flat. Let me put it, I'll just stick it in there. All right. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust the height of this so that my tool comes directly into the center of rotation. Now, guess what? If I keep this flat on this box rest, I can't go below center. It's safe. And then we can turn around. We'll just make a little cut here. We go, I'm just a tad below center. Just hang on. And you can stick this, you can go way down into these beer koozies and all these other type of things. I'll just put it across this way. So now what we can do, if I keep it flat on that tool rest, just take a tiny bite, always use a negative rate. Now see how my handle's going over this way? Now, this is at an angle for a reason. All right, can you still see? Because now I can come up the side of the little box or the beer koozie or whatever, right? And the handle doesn't interfere. So as I come across, let me just. I've got one little line there, but it's pretty clean. So a box rest is very important, especially if you're using a flat tool, right? And the tool and the cutting edge is inside the left edge. So that way I've eliminated any twist or torque, and I've eliminated this tool from going below the center of rotation. That's a very, very safe way to use these tools in hollowing small boxes or large vases or whatever you're doing. Now, I'm going to show you something here. We're going to take this off, right? And for all those people, you can get these are standard things. You can get them online. What you can do.
See if one of our members can put a link to that in our chat, please.
Yeah, best wood tools. Okay, now on your mini lathe, you can also have a 5/8 post. And guess what? There's your little small flat box rest for doing tiny things on your mini lathe. You can do the same thing, and you can keep it in there right close to where you work, and you can't go below center, and you can't twist as long as you're using a flat situation. Anybody have any questions on that? Okay.
I believe that, Mark, I believe that item is
I
now listed on
got
our.
a question for you.
Yes. Yes.
Are those in different sizes, or is that just, you said just one size?
No, you can get them any size you want. Just tell Victor what you want. He'll make it for you.
Okay.
Now, these tool posts, you see this tool post here? It's tight right now, but this unscrews. You can put 30, 40 different heads on this post, all kinds of shapes. And the same with the mini stuff. Okay. Now, if we have, I'm going to take this off here just a second. And again, you can grind your tool with a square edge in the corner or a rounded edge in the corner.
Now catch on that he said you can grind your tool. Mark has modified a scraper tool to do this with, and you
Right.
can build your own. Don't ever, ever throw away an old tool. Well, he's setting up, Brenda. You said, "Can I get this?" And referring to maybe different sizes. Yes, let me caution anybody buying a tool post. You need to know the model of your lathe. The model of your lathe when you talk to somebody about a tool post. It's the height of the post, the height of the carrier, and the depth you want to reach. If you don't have all that working, it's not going to work. I know somebody that mailed their post back to Robust 3 times because he couldn't agree on what he needed. So know the model number. They can help you when you do that. All right, Mark. Pardon me for
Okay.
interrupting.
Okay, here we
Mark,
go.
I've got a question. You
Yes.
said Victor makes those box rests. Victor who?
I don't know his last name, but he's at Best Wood Tools.
Best Wood Tools. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. If you go to his website, he's got every kind of configuration of Toolrest that you can think of. Okay, if you have we're going to go to a hollow form. Right, let me plug in my phone so I don't run out of juice in the middle of this. Okay, so what I have here is I have a hollowing rig. Right?
Your camera's dropping out. The camera dropped out.
Okay, I see it. Right. Let me put it over. Maybe I can get it up here. Okay, so I have a captive system here, right? I have what they call the gizmo. Everybody's got a captive system. So what I did is I cut a hollow form in half so that everybody could see the effect of this thing. Okay, so if you're going to do hollow forms, right, and you have a captive system where this bar is locked in, right, then I can go in the hole and I can go around, and then I have a problem. Once you get extended over this tool rest about 5 or 6 inches, you get a tremendous sine wave reverberation. Every time this tool bends down, it bends back up the same distance. And so people have all this vibration. So how do we eliminate the vibration and make this safe for children to use and old people to use and even middle-aged people to use, right? Instead of having this vibration, right, with this extension over there, then what we do is we get rid of the tool rest. Right? Let me back this thing out. Tool rest. So if I'm going to use a hollow out of hollow form, then what I'm going to do is use this configuration. I'm going to use a figure 6 configuration of tool rest. Now, no matter where I go, I can have this. That's all what I'm saying. I can put this inside. You see that? Where it can go inside. And then you're not hanging way over a tool rest, right? You can move your support so that it stays along the edges, and it eliminates this vibration of the hollow form. So let me I can go on down in here, right? Let's just say I go down in here like this. Right? Guess what? Now I'm only, an inch and a half away from the edge when I'm down in here. it eliminates this reverberation. And you can simply, I've had this one welded up for 10 bucks, you know. So what you're doing is you're making like a number 6 figure so that, you know, if you want to go down and follow that all around, you can. Very safe. You're just going to make a figure 6. You're going to put a gusset in it and do your 1-inch tool post. Or if you have a mini lathe, you can do a 5/8 tool post, right? And make a little figure 6 and it'll do the same thing. It'll go down inside the little hollow form. Very, very, very safe. And if you have a handheld situation, then guess what? You don't have to worry about going below center. Very, very handy. Any questions on that? Mark, what if I have a real deep vase or something? Okay, so now what I have here is I have a long bar that comes up at a right angle, has a gusset in it, then it extends out, right, and then it makes a right angle bend to the right. So if I'm doing like bata drums or, you know, something like, let me get this over the hole here, just a second. So now I can go way down in to these forms here. Let me get this. This hole is not quite big enough, but you can take it down in there in these big forms and go way down in, right? So now when I have my hollowing system in there, right? You know, I can have, you know, 12 inches down in there. I'm not hanging over the tool rest. So I have almost zero vibration. Very safe, very safe. Anybody have any questions on these interior tool rests to support your hollowing systems? Either hand tools, right? Like if you're going down in there and you're way back here, you got so much of this stuff you can't stand it. You put that support down in there, and now you're close. You got a much better chance on a hand tool. Okay, we're gonna do one other thing.
I like the idea. I mean,
Hey,
you're right.
Mark, do you find a local person that welds and design it yourself, or how
Yeah,
does that work?
just go to go to a local car repair place or machine shop or whatever, and all you're doing. I mean, how simple is this? That's a 1-inch bar. I had a triangle gusset in it, right? And then it goes down and it bends that way so I can come across the bottom of big bowls and things like that. I can get right down in there. But I do a lot of things where I've got to go way down in with my hollowing system. And this gives me the support.
Very cool. Thank you.
Okay, now on small objects, right? I'm going to see if I can get this. I'm going to get my camera right over this. Let me get a. Now, when I'm hollowing out small things, right, what I do is I go in and I go over the top. See, I'm 1/8 of an inch away from the bottom of the ball. You see that?
Yes.
Okay. And then what I would do, let me get my pen. So when I'm doing ornaments and stuff, right, I'm going to go over the hole, center the tool on the hole, go to where it's 1/8 of an inch. Let me just, I should do this. Right? Let me just do this. I'll set it on there, and then I can hold this. Okay, I put it over the top. And there's as deep as I can go, so I still have a wall. And I make a line. And then I take the tip, I center the tool on the hole, So I've got a hole drilled in it. Then I take the tip about 1/8 of an inch away from the edge. Let me just do this. And this is before it's hollow. And then I draw that line across the front of the hole. So I know that as I go in and I hollow by hand, right, I can't go any deeper than this. And when this angle is lined up with the front of that ball, I'm 1/8 of an inch away from the edge of my little form. So that's all I need to do little ornament forms and things like that. And again, you do this off of a box rest. You're using a flat tool with the cutting tip inside the left so that there's no torque. Now, if you want to get fancy, these grooves on this handle, I can attach a little laser up here and I can have it laser controlled. And it's real quick. It's all just by hand.
What, Billy? You're
Cool.
laughing at, but
No, that was cool.
That's very clever.
yeah.
Anyway, okay, so now what we want to try to do when we have this tool down in here, now I use a laser. I'll just switch this around. That's my, let me take it out of here just a second. Yeah, that's my gizmo hollowing system, right? And then you can put any size. This is a 3/4 here. You can put any tool in there, any size. You can just make a 3/4 little collar, stick it in there, and use smaller hollowing tools and all that. But using these little curved inside box rests and all that, it is unbelievably safe. And another thing that you want to do, I've got these steady rests here. I cut this in half with a bandsaw today so that I could show you guys. But when you set up your steady rest, always have the wheels on the downward slope. That holds it in. Everybody understand that? We don't put it at the high point. We don't put it back here.
Right.
Because that way it can squeeze out. We always put it past the high point and put your wheels here, and it just won't come out. If you have any big form, always put the steady rest on. So anytime that anybody goes to tell you to do ornaments or little hollow forms or little boxes, just remember, right? This is not safe because you have to physically fight the tool. Always take that, make some type of rest that will eliminate you from ever having that tool go below center. And then get inside your hollow form as far as you can. See, if I go in here 6 or 7 inches on that, guess what? This thing is like a raging devil. It wants to go up and down. The other thing that you can do, which I have over here, is I have a 1-inch square bar that's 30 inches long. So if I need to go down into these big drums and stuff, a square bar does not have near the vibration as a round bar. And then you can just put any type of tip that you want in there, an adapter. Any questions on box rests and tool rests for hollowing?
I see box rest making in my future.
Well,
Big
I want
time.
to
Yeah,
tell
me
you
too.
something. Okay, number one,
I'm ordering one now.
I want to thank Jay Sawyer out in Lincoln, Arkansas. He sent me this real nice phone holder for this demo tonight. Thank you, Jay. And he does a lot of these beer koozies.
You're very welcome.
And he, when he finally got his box rest, right, it's just pure game changer, you know. But anyway, if anybody ever has any questions, call me. I'm here. I've got all kinds of connections, and I hope cutting this thing in half, you could see what was going on in here. That you can get as close as you can to the wall with your tool rest and get rid of this thing for going way down in things. It will save you time. it's increased safety, and it makes hollowing so easy and so safe. Anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark. That was
Thank
great
you, Mark.
demonstration, sir.
Mark,
Thanks, Yeah,
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
what?
Very, very nice. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
real,
you.
real
Who had
quick
it- who had
question,
it?
Mark, if you could.
Okay.
With when you've got one of those rests down in a hollow form like that, does it make it tougher to get your shavings out of that hollow form?
Yes, if you hollow for a half an hour, you may not get it out. But you know, about every minute or so, just either blow it out or scoop it out.
Okay. Do you find you need to pull your rest out to do that, or can it stay in there?
It stays in there. I just blow it out.
Okay.
Just turn down your RPMs. When you go to blow something out, turn it down as slow as it'll go, right? And the more shavings that come out. If you keep it spinning fast, then the centrifugal force keeps the shavings inside.
Sure.
And if you're looking for a non-compressor way to do it, a piece of accordion air hose or pump hose works really good. It's very flexible, and they have them with the, I won't say armor plating, but they have the mesh around them, so they hold up pretty good. But and why, if you're using that tube, you'll find out, don't set it anywhere where it's warm. It quits being a tube really quick. So, all right, thanks again, sir. We appreciate your input tonight. We have had a good demonstration.